Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Battle Spot Doubles episode. So, for the first time ever on the series, we are going to be playing a team that we've constructed ourselves. Now, here's the thing. So, when we first started this series, we kind of put the idea out there that we'd play the QR codes first. Then, what we do after a little while, we got our feelers out there in the format and things like that. We'd set down some time and do a team building episode together. So we scheduled it for this past weekend to do that and then play the brand new team this week. Unfortunately, stuff outside of my videos and things like that I had like no control over kind of happened. Meant that I couldn't end of last week was like stupidly chaotic for me, and trying to get everything done was fine. We got everything there, but the weekend was just a kind of a bit of a write-off, so I didn't have time to do that live stream, and I'm really sorry that we didn't get to do that. But what I plan to do, so I didn't have a lot of time to put a team together. Now I've put this team together that we're going to use this week and into next week, so that the 4 episodes that we'll have, 2 this week, 2 next week. We might do a bonus one on the weekends depending on how it goes, but a week this Saturday we're going to reschedule that team building episode live stream. We're going to do it on Saturday and then finish it all off on the Sunday, and then take the team into the following week and play it then, because I don't want to do this where we just kind of go along like I do this, show you a team review episode, and then no one's kind of getting any kind of benefit out of it. You might get a little bit of benefit out of it, but I feel like you're going to get way more benefit out of the team building if we do it like a live stream together. And I don't know how many other players on YouTube kind of do that, but I feel like you sitting down with me and building the team with me, I'll have a basic idea of what I want to put together as a team, but I want you guys to ask me questions. Why are you choosing that? Why are you choosing that move? What about this? Have you thought about that? And so on and so on and so on. And it'll be so much easier if we do it in a live stream environment where you guys can like ping me the questions and I can answer you straight away, rather than kind of dropping comments and things. As much as I love that, it can be a bit frustrating for you guys if there's questions and things that you've got, or you might have way more than one question to ask about the team, then you kind of just want to relay in the comment section below. So we could do that. So I think that's really cool. 2 weeks time we're going to do that. So a week on Saturday we'll do that, and then we'll conclude it on that Sunday, and hopefully that's enough time for you guys to kind of, if you are around, make sure that you can catch it, because I think it would be really cool. But for this week, just because of life situations and stuff like that, guys, so I do apologize again, we're just going to run this team. It looks a bit bog standard, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's pretty much a take on the 2015 when Mega Kangaskhan was last allowed in the format. We had this team coined choke, so it's a kind of a take on that. We've seen similar variations to this on the Battle Spot ladder already, but I've kind of put my own take on it with some little tweaks here and there, EV spreads and things like that. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to jump on. I'm going to have a go with Mega Kangaskhan, Cresselia, Heatran, Landorus T, Coco, Finny. It's always good to try these teams out. That's the thing, it might look a bit boring from the face value of stuff, but the thing is, a lot of the time in certain formats there might not be so much diversity, and you know, you might be seeing the same Pokemon coming up over and over again, and you think, oh, I don't want to use this because everyone else is using it. But the thing is, everyone else is using it because it is good. So it's good sometimes to play these teams, get a feel for them, and then you kind of understand them a bit more, understand what they're strong against, understand what they're weak against, and then you can take that knowledge that you've got from playing it, testing it yourselves, and then put that knowledge into a new team that you create to kind of go forward with. And I always think that's a really good thing to do. That's why I think I like the idea of people playing like as many teams as they can. It's like, it's always just building that knowledge for you to kind of go forward with. But we'll come back to that later, because we have our first opponent of the episode, and they are running a team of Kangaskhan, which is probably Mega Kangaskhan, Garchomp, Tapu Lele, Suicune, Thundurus Therian Form, and Ferrothorn. So, first things first. What did we remember ages ago on one of the first episodes we did on this series? The Thunderous Therian form probably has the fight MZ, so we need to be very careful of that if we're bringing our Kangaskhan to this game. Again, we need to be careful with that Tapu Lele, because if we bring the Kangaskhan, we can't just freely fake out things, especially if the Lele is not out on the field that first turn. It can always switch in, stop our fake out, and something else can kind of take control from there. We've got the Suicune on here. That's probably going to be the speed control for this team. It's got Tailwind, it's got Icy Wind, so we need to be aware of that. Ferrothorn is going to be a bit of a pain, so I think we're going to have to bring Heatran for that. We're going to have to be careful of the Kangaskhan and the Garchomp and the Suicune, because they all threaten it quite heavily with their stabbed ground, water, and then the Kangaskhan with the fighting type attack. So let's see what we can do here. Not much time, so I'm going to lead Kangaskhan. I'm going to bring Cresselia, I'm going to bring Heatran, and I'm going to bring Tapu Fini, and I think we're going to lock in with that. Hopefully we kind of haven't rushed that too much where it's going to cost us. Should be interesting though. This is the first game I'm like having with this team as well, so, and it's literally because I've like had like zero time to do anything. And I'm sorry I keep going on about it. I just really enjoy doing these videos, and I like having the time to put into them and making sure that, you know, the content's always there for you guys. And it's just a bit frustrating sometimes when life happens and you don't have as much time as you want to kind of put into stuff. But besides that, we see my opponent lead off with that Tapu Lele and the Garchomp. So what can we do here? We really don't want to leave Kangaskhan sitting on the field to take possibly a Shattered Psyche, and we definitely don't want to switch Heatran in just yet, because that Garchomp could go for an Earthquake or a Tectonic Rage or something into that slot. So what I'm going to do is set up a Trick Room with Cresselia, switch out Kangaskhan into my Finny here. We've got to be aware that the Lele might have Taunt as well, so that's a possibility on the Cresselia here. But the main thing is we get rid of that Psychic Turn to kind of get rid of the threat of those big Psychic type attacks. So we see the Garchomp just go for a Rock Slide, and for those flinches, and there's the Taunt onto the Cresselia. Is going to shut our Trick Room option down here. So that's fine. I don't mind that too much, because we are running Chospex Finny. I was just going to launch into a Muddy Water, but I just want to check what my opponent could have in the back. Ferrothorn coming in is not going to be ideal, but if we force it in, it means we get a free switch into Heatran at least. So I'll just go for a Muddy Water here, and I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam onto that Garchomp. So there's the Garchomp switch, preserving it for later on in the match, and there's that Ferrothorn as we kind of expected. So I'll just see a Psychic come out from this Tapu Lele. Tapu Fini. Able to take it alright, I guess. Getting the Muddy Water. Doing really nice damage to that Tapu Lele. And what are we going to do? Let's switch in the Heatran for the Finny, and let's go for a... well, we can't really do too much else, so let's just... We can get a bit more chip on the Tapu Lele. Let's go for an Ice Beam into that slot, because Heatran is going to be able to clear that Ferrothorn up pretty quickly once it comes onto the field. We'll probably force it out, force the Garchomp back in, but we can play to that. So we'll bring this Heatran in. See, there's the Psychic from Tapu Lele into that slot. Heatran, in a bit of a boss, able to take that pretty nicely. And we'll get the Ice Beam into the Lele. So do a little bit of damage, and we see a Leech Seed come out into the Cresselia here. So don't mind that too much. We are running leftovers on Heatran. So do I expect this Lele to have Hidden Power Ground? Be a nice tech to think about, wouldn't it? Because it's like baiting it in for it to kind of just to get taken down, but I don't think it does. So I think here what we can do is pretty safely go for a substitute, and I'm just going to go for another Ice Beam into the Lele. Should I? Yeah, into the Lele slot. Should probably go into the Ferrothorn, but it's so obvious that I'd Ice Beam into that slot maybe that the Garchomp won't come in there, and then the Garchomp come in and then the Lele, so the Lele can then bring in the terrain later in the game. So if we can catch the Garchomp, but it isn't, it is just that Ferrothorn slot, so that's not so bad, I guess. And we just see a Taunt, into the Cresselia, so I thought for a minute it was into our Heatran, which wouldn't have been ideal at all. But not to worry, because we get another Ice Beam into this Lele. We're going to slowly start chipping it down, and we can now put a lot of pressure onto the Garchomp with an Ice Beam this turn. So we're kind of protecting our Heatran, even though we are leech seeded. It's not the end of the world. Cresselia is pretty bulky, so I'm just going to protect Heatran this turn, and I'm going to go for a... Should I go for an Ice Beam or should I switch again? No, I'm not going to switch again. I'm going to go for a Ice Beam into the Garchomp slot. I'm not going to mess around. So Tapu Lele just protects. We're probably going to see an Earthquake come out here from this Garchomp, which is like completely fine because Cresselia's got the Levitate ability. It's not affected by it. But it's just a Rock Slide from the Garchomp, trying to get the flinch, but we get really lucky there. Rock Slide misses. We do get the Ice Beam off. It isn't quite enough to pick up the KO onto the Garchomp, but the thing is, as long as we get this next Ice Beam off onto the Garchomp, we're sitting in a pretty nice position where we can kill the Garchomp with an Ice Beam. It will be in range, and we can just go for... Don't know if I'll go for the Heat Wave. And what I've done, I've put the Wiki Berry on Cresselia. Cresselia misses, dodging those Rock Slides. So I've put the Wiki Berry on the Cresselia because I think it normally has a Citrus Berry, but I feel like it's bulky enough to take advantage of that Wiki Berry. So we do take a Moonblast. It does lower our special attack, which is a bit unfortunate, but it does proc that Wiki Berry, give us all that juicy health back. So, and we get the Heat Wave off, hit both targets. So this should take down the Lele, do a good chip to the Garchomp, and this Ice Beam should pick up the KO here, which is pretty nice. And the nice thing about like Heatran in this position, is with the leftovers, once you get a substitute up, you can really kind of start like dictating the pace of the game, because the leftovers, you're gaining health back all the time, and the sub's not easy to break unless you've got something that's going to hit for super effective damage. So a lot of the time when Heatran's out, you kind of position it in a position like board position where you know you can get the sub up for free almost. So we do see that Thundurus hit the field. As we said at the start of the game, we've got to be a bit careful that it may have the Fight TMZ, which would hit a Heatran for super effective damage. I think here I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam and a Heat Wave. I'm not going to mess around too much. This Ferrothorn will probably protect. Thundurus will probably try and break the sub on the Heatran, so it can go for that Fight TMZ next turn. So there's the protect, but we're doubling into this Thundurus. I don't know, like Cresselia got a special attack drop, so this combination might not be enough to pick up the KO now. So there's the Heat Wave. Does it hit? It does hit. Okay, so we'll do a good chunk to this Thundurus and the Ice Beam. This will probably be just shy of the KO, I'd imagine. Yeah. Right. Now, here we go. Here's that big Z move. We've got to expect it here, really, haven't we? We've got to expect it. It's got to come out. So, what I'll do is just protect. Got to kind of hope that the Ice Beam's enough now to pick up the KO onto the Thundurus. Should be. But I'm totally expecting the all-out Pummeling to come out from this Thundurus here. So we're just going to protect with Heatran, avoid getting KO'd this turn. The Ferrothorn's got to attack here, but it'll probably just Gyro Ball into Cresselia, I would imagine. So my opponent just weighing up his options, what he wants to do. So there's the Protect from Heatran. We're going to see the Z-Ring. No, just a straight up Focus Blast. So they are saving it, I think. They are definitely saving it in case they survive this turn. So, bit unfortunate. They don't make it through this turn. And we just see a Power Whip come out from the Ferrothorn, do really good damage onto that Cresselia. But we're going to be able to clean up this game quite nicely now with our Heatran with a big Heat Wave. So we will just go for that Heat Wave and just an Ice Beam. Why not? And my opponent just forfeit. It's a good game to my opponent, but we kind of managed things well there. We got a bit fortunate in a few places, you know, with the Rock Slide misses and things, but I don't think overall it really mattered too much. We were aware of, like, at all times of the threats and things that were kind of coming out onto us, and we just played it quite safe and just managed the field quite well. And Cresselia, to be honest, probably did a really good job that game, even though it was taunted for most of it. We couldn't get any Trick Room up or anything like that, but not a bad start to the episode. So we'll jump into our next game and see who we come up against and see what we can do with the team, see if we can feature a few more aspects of the team going forward. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this team so far after this episode, what you guys think of it, what you guys' opinion. Well, I should leave this to see how we do in this match, because we have our next opponent, but it's always nice to hear what you guys think, the matches and the team and everything in particular, and what we've got planned kind of going forward. So our next opponent, they're running a rain team, running Pelipper, Ludicolo, Tapu Lele, Goodra, Metagross and Snorlax. So, Rain Core. Trick Room mode isn't bad here. We do have Kangaskhan, but there's Lele to stop the fake out, Ludicolo as well. It's going to be able to outspeed us in the rain, so let's see. This is going to be a tricky matchup, I think. Very tricky. So let's lead with Cresselia, Kangaskhan. I do want to bring Tapu Fini here, and do I want to bring... Do I want to bring Heatran, Koko, or Landorus? Heatran, Koko, or Landorus. I think I'm going to opt to bring Koko in this match. So we'll lock in with Koko. I might need to have a look at our rain matchup. You know, something here like Sunny Down Cresselia would be quite nice as a tech to have just against rain to, you know, just disrupt their rain mode, disrupt their speeds and things like that. I know we've got Trick Room, but you know, the power that they can kind of pump out with those water type attackers is pretty huge. And if you can kind of neuter that to some extent with like something like Sunny Day, it could be quite useful. So it's something, it's food for thought anyway, isn't it? It's something that we could think about maybe adding for the next episode. So we see my opponent lead off with the Pelipper and the Ludicolo. It's hard here because you kind of got to imagine that my opponent wants to stop the Trick Room, so they're kind of inclined to go for the fake out into Ludicolo here. Into Cresselia here to stop the Trick Room, but if they do that, they're going to take fake out into their Pelipper, potentially breaking their sash. So I think what I'm going to do is just go for a fake out into the Pelipper. If we get it off, we get it off. If not, then we do get the Trick Room up. So we do see the Metagross hit the field. I wonder if it's Mega Metagross. We are going to Mega Evolve with Kangaskhan for the first time this episode. Release that baby from its pouch, and we see a fake out. Is it in? It's into the Cresselia, which is probably better for us, to be honest, because having that Metagross in a Trick Room isn't the most ideal thing, although we would have been able to kind of target down that Ludicolo this next turn. So, what do we want to do? Do we just go for the Trick Room here with Cress and switch in Tapu Fini? Maybe that's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for that play. So let's go for the Trick Room. And let's switch in Fini. Because we can potentially double down into that Ludicolo this next turn if we get the Trick Room up. I can't imagine a grass type attack coming out into the Kangaskhan slot. It's more likely a water type attack like Scald or something like that coming out. So we'll see. So there's a Hydro Pump. Who's it going to be into? Cresselia. Okay, but we do take that quite comfortably. And a Hammer Arm. Okay, so that's better for us, but at the same time, the Hammer Arm is reducing Metagross's speed, so it's kind of helping it out in the Trick Room slightly. So I wonder if we could potentially steal the Tough Claws off the Metagross, give it Levitate. I'm really tempted to do that. It's going to mean Tapu Fini's able to stick around a bit longer. The other thing what we could do is just go for a Moonblast Psychic into the Ludicolo. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's go for Moonblast and Psychic. Hope that it isn't Assault Vest. So Metagross actually withdraws, so we don't mind that too much. If we can take this Ludicolo down now with this combination, then we should be in an alright position. That's not Assault Vest. This is going to be Claws. This is a Specs. Moonblast. Is it enough? It is enough. Okay, so we deal with that alright. And we're locked into Moonblast. So it means we're going to be able to get a big Moonblast Ice Beam onto that Goodra this next turn. Even if that's Assault Vested, should still be doing really good damage. So, I could just Moonblast and steal the Tough Claws this turn. I think that's not a bad idea. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to steal the Tough Claws from the Metagross. Pretty sure that's its ability. Something that boosts its attacks. So if we can get rid of that, it's going to mean Fini's not going to take as much damage potentially. So we'll go for that, and we'll go for a Moonblast into the Goodra. So give Metagross Levitate, which you would never normally do, but we don't have, I don't think, any ground types on a team that we need to worry about hitting it with this turn. We see a Thunder come out from the Goodra. It is slower than Fini, but we are able to take that, and we get the Moonblast off and do some really nice damage as well. So there's the Iron Head from Metagross. Even without that Tough Claws, it is enough to pick up the KO there. And we see the Goodra is holding Leftovers item. So, we're still in Trick Room. Let's bring in Kangaskhan now, because we've got the Fake Out to make use of. So, what do we do? Could Fake Out into Metagross, stop it attacking this turn. But is it really likely to attack? There's a threat of a Sucker Punch coming out onto it, or a Fake Out. I would have thought it might protect this turn. I think what I'm going to do is just double into the Goodra, Fake Out the Goodra, or I could actually Power Punch. Or am I getting greedy if I Power Punch? I could Power Punch my Cresselia expecting the double protect. That might not be a bad play. With the Fake Out, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk that Goodra going for an attack. So I'm just going to Fake Out and Ice Beam that slot. Okay, so we don't see any protect come out. Do get the fake out off. We are going to be able to take it down this turn, but we're going to take an attack from this Metagross. So and there's the Iron Head. Into the crest though, that's fine. It's just above our berry procking as well, and the rain does stop. But we are going to see this Pelipper come back onto the field. I think we should be alright now. I'm just going to go for a Psychic into the Pelipper, and I'm going to go for a Sucker Punch into the Metagross. So there's the Sucker Punch. No protects. Do a decent amount. It puts it in range for next turn anyway, so we get the Psychic, break that potential sash on the Pelipper. We've got to remember that we've still got Coco to come in now. Oh, we get so lucky with that Hydro Pump avoid there. That is super unfortunate for my opponent. Okay. Really, really, really unfortunate. I'm just gonna go for I'm gonna double in to the Pelipper now with a Sucker Punch and a Psychic. Should I, or should I go for the Metagross? Like, the Sucker Punch onto the Metagross is so obvious, so I'm just gonna Sucker Punch into the Pelipper. We don't know if it's sashed or not yet, or if it's scarfed or anything like that. So just to be a bit safe, I just want to make sure I can get rid of that this turn, which we hopefully can. There's the Hurricane. It's going to be into the Kangaskhan. Can Crest hang on this turn? No. Okay. Alright, so everything is down to Tapu Koko, but we do outspeed both threats. So it's just about what we want to do. It's a bit awkward because the Pelipper hits the Hydro Pump, then it will KO us. The Metagross hasn't protected at all, so has it even got protect? And will an Iron Head? I don't think an Iron Head will kill us. It shouldn't kill us. It shouldn't do. So you could just go for Dazzling Gleam, but Pelipper can learn Wide Guard, which could it could screw us over here. Is it gonna go for Wide Guard though? Really? Because Dazzling Gleam will get rid of the Pelipper, chip the Metagross down. Like I say, we should be able to kind of covers any potential protects here. I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam and hope. And then we should be able to finish the Metagross the next turn. So we get the Dazzling Gleam, no Wide Guard, no protects. Pick up the KO onto the Pelipper. So it's just about if we can survive this attack from Metagross. As long as it's not got Earthquake, which it hasn't, Iron Head. Yeah, we do take that. And now we can finish the game off. So that's fine, and let's do it in style. Let's end this episode with the Gigavolt Havoc into that Metagross. That was a tough matchup. Like I say, if we had Sunny Day on our crest, it would have made things so much easier. And I think just having that move on Cresselia as an option would mean we could possibly bring something like the Heatran, because it can operate a bit better under the sun. It's not as threatened by the rain mode, and threatens things like Ludicolo, especially under the sun with those big fire type attacks. It can hit the Metagross with super effective damage, and so on and so on and so on. So there's a few merits to running it. It's something to think about, but let me know what you think, and if I get enough of you saying yes, it's a great idea, we'll do it for Thursday's episode when we'll be back with this team, and we'll no doubt run into rain teams. But what we're going to do, guys, is just wrap things up there. It's pretty late now when I'm recording this, when I've got round to actually doing it. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, hello, welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you get all the daily updates for when the Battlespot Double series comes out, a School of Hard Knocks series comes out, QR code, MBL Season 2 as well. So we're playing Team Mythical this week, which is Joe and Marty, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So tune in for the team building on Friday this week, which will be on my teammate Hibicki's channel, and the match this week will be right here for your viewing pleasure. So hopefully we can pick up a win this week. We didn't have the best of results against Team Drinkerbirds, Tommy and Lawsy. If you have watched that match, it was very entertaining against two of the top people in VGC. Tommy and Lawsy are great guys, so it was a pleasure playing them, but we didn't get the result, which was a bit unfortunate, but you know, you can't win them all, even though we'd like to, and that's what we're aiming for, so we've just got to keep that in mind. But yeah, if you've got any questions, guys, about today's episode, do shoot me a comment, and just a quick reminder to the winners that we had from the competition. We announced those yesterday on the channel, so congratulations to all you guys. Do get in touch, send me your address details so I can get everything sent out to you if you haven't already, and this is just a little gentle reminder just in case I haven't got anyone's contact details, or just wherever you want them sent, and then I'll get those posted out to you as soon as possible. But we'll wrap things up there, guys. We'll be back on Thursday to play this team again, hopefully explore it a bit more, and just discuss a few more bits and bobs about it. But the basic idea is a week on Saturday we're going to do, so not this Saturday after that, we're going to do the live stream on Saturday and Sunday, do the team building for this actual team that we're going to build on the channel. And you know what I might do for next week is throw in some best of 3 games on here with a couple of people that I know I've got lined up to play with, so that'll be a lot of fun, just instead of just going on the ladder and kind of filling out some space in the meantime before we do build that proper team. And this team's pretty cool, I do like it a lot. We've had a couple of good results today, so hopefully we can continue that on Thursday. But until then, guys, you take care of yourselves, whatever you're doing. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode of the School of Hard Knocks, playing that new team with the Togedemaru, and we'll be back with a very special QR code episode. And it's a little shout out to the Gons, because I did see your comment and I'm super sorry that you were a bit disappointed with the new team build this week. But hopefully the QR code team tomorrow is going to make up for that, and that's all I'll say on that, guys. So you all take care of yourselves, have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time of day it is, and I will see you all very soon. So until then, guys, bye bye.